One of the best parts about Pokemon is team building. But even in a smaller game like Emerald, picking just 6 team members from the whole list of 200 can be difficult. That's why I came up with this brand new challenge. I think. I'm not going to make that decision. I'm going to let fate decide what Pokemon I use to play through Emerald's main story. I'm going to randomly generate a number, and whatever Pokédex number correlates to that Pokemon in the Hoenn, I have to use that exact Pokemon to beat the game. The numbers I rolled were 8, 164, 99, 11, 44, and 122, which correspond to Marshtomp, Girafarig, Wailmer, Mightyena, Shedinja, and Altaria. Now you might be asking, isn't this just a randomizer? Well, kind of, but not really. There are 2 things that set this challenge apart from a randomizer. One, we're able to use a vanilla copy of the game, so if you don't like editing ROMs, you don't have to. 2, we're also able to keep the general balancing of the vanilla game as well. With randomizers, there's always that slight chance that you just get a legendary for a starter, and you kind of just rip through the game, and it's really not much of a challenge. So let's get started. The game starts out like pretty much any other. We pick our character, make our name, and hop out of the moving truck because our mom doesn't like us. We pick our trusty Mudkip, the best boy, and we play animal control to save Birch. He drags us back to his lab and tells us to keep the animal that we have no prior knowledge on how to take care of. I named him Gregory. So now we have to go and find Birch's son, and when we do, he challenges us to a battle that he realistically stands no chance at since he's the first trainer and all, and he basically serves as the tutorial. He beat me. We beat him on the run back though. Back at the lab, Birch mocks our defeat, but now we can finally catch the second addition to our fateful team, a level 3 Poochyena. Oh boy. He was easy to catch at least, and I got to name him Roderick. After that, we arrive in Petalburg to see our dad, but it turns out he doesn't love us either. Makes us go out with the local sickly boy so we can watch him catch a young child and the concept of empathy? We get back to the gym just for Father Dearest here to tell us that we are too weak to spar with him and to go to Rustboro instead. We get to Rustboro after an uneventful walk in the woods with our team of 2 and head straight for the gym. I'm using the level cap rule in this challenge since most problems in Pokemon can be solved by just being a higher level than your opponent, so no one on my team can be a higher level than the next gym leader's strongest Pokemon. Roxanne's Nosepass is level 15, meaning we can't evolve Mudkip before the fight, but that's alright because it's a rock gym and Water Gun goes burr. We win our badge and exit the gym to witness a public disturbance. We follow the goon to the next route where we can catch the 3rd member of our team, a Nincada. I fittingly named it Manny because its life as a Shedinja will prove to be incredibly annoying to work around. Greg also leveled up to 16 on this route and evolved into Marshtomp, where he will forever be stuck in his teenage years listening to Linkin Park and having a broody demeanor, wishing he was different but never willingly taking the action to actually change his attitude and outlook on things, which would have naturally occurred if he were to just experience different aspects of life. Into Rusturp Tunnel we go so we can save this old guy's rat or something. I don't know. He's really upset about it. Inside the tunnel we find the goofy goober, and this makes the old man happy because he gets to have his rat back, and this CEO is happy that we provided him with free labor, and then demands more. I don't work here, dude. We get the man whose depression we cured to give us a lift to Dewford to appease our corporate overlords. Once we fumble through the dark for a bit, we find Steven and give him the letter. We feel the crushing grip of a monopolistic millionaire on our shoulders ease up just the tiniest bit. So now we can take on the next gym in good conscience. Manny and Roderick are a bit underleveled for this situation, and I absolutely refuse to grind, so it's mostly up to Greg. He's able to sweep away Machop, and Roderick is actually able to come in and take out Meditite by stunlocking it, since it only wants to use a super effective focus punch against him. Gregory comes back out for Makuhita and narrowly nabs us the 2nd badge. Making our way through Slateport, we see Team Aquas crowding the movie theater to see the single greatest film ever made. We make our honest and fair contribution to the Morbius sweep and meet the fellow Morbhead Archie inside, who says, "I'm gonna Morb." And then he leaves. Well, that was weird. Next stop is Mauville City, but along the way, Roderick hit level 19 and evolved into Mightyena. Then he died. Oh no. And wouldn't you know it, while clearing out the next gym's trainers, Manny reached level 20 to evolve. What the fuck is this? This isn't what I ordered. Fate was supposed to serve me a Shedinja. Oh, well, there he is. But he lost his name. This guy stole his name. We got a false Manny. We locked the false Manny away in the very serious timeout box and give him the most uninteresting background to look at so we can suffer for all eternity. We give the true Manny his rightful name again and head back to the gym. Watson only has one Pokemon that can touch our glorious god, so we start with Gregory to take out his Voltorb. Then it's free game for Manny to come in and shred up the rest of Watson's team, which secures us the badge. The next gym is in Lava Ridge Town, but we have to do a bit of a detour around the top left of the map so that we can 1. Inhale toxic volcanic ash into our lungs, 2. Catch the next member of our team, Susan, the Swablu. Hey, we got a real family going on now. And finally 3, find Team Magma in Meteor Falls. They run away as soon as we get there though, and Archie comes up and tells us they don't want to see me when I'm hungry. We pursue them back up to the top of Mount Chimney, and we run into Archie again, where he tells us that's a pretty little stinky pig. What? Is this serious? Is that actually a line in the movie? Anyway, we get to Maxie and beat him up so that we can climb down to Lava Ridge Town. Did you know what's in Lava Ridge Town? Naked grannies. Flannery stood no chance. Greg sweeped everything because her whole team is afraid of getting a little wet, and we can claim the 4th badge. Now it's time to make our way back to Petalburg Gym. Once we beat up all the kids our dad likes more than us, we can finally face our father. I expected this fight to be really difficult, like everyone says it is, but in reality, it just ended up taking a long time. Lanoon and Spinda can't attack Manny directly, except Spinda can confuse him, so really we only had to worry about the Vigoroth and the Slacking. I led with Manny to bait a switch, and he does into Vigoroth. Roderick is able to take it down, and then comes the Slacking. It's able to take down Roderick in one hit, so I sent in Gregory and started spamming Mud Slaps for accuracy drop cheese. Now I'm not proud of it, but like, can you blame me? Slacking obviously wasn't a fan of this strategy because he manages to land a critical hit facade through the debuffs. And Greg really had no hope of standing up to that. I'm forced to send Susan out next since Slacking has Feint Attack, which would have knocked Manny out in one hit and also never misses. Now that I think about it, he really could have just swept me with Feint Attack, which would have negated all the effects of the Mud Slaps, but it's a good thing he didn't, I guess. I don't know, maybe he was going easy on me. It takes Susan 10 pecks, but she is able to knock out Slacking. The rest of the battle took 15 minutes of switching. Susan had to safeguard so that she could protect Manny from confusion from Spinda, and it was really boring and it took a long time, but hey, we did it, we got the badge. Okay, great. Thank you, Dad, bye. And we have Surf now. With Surf, we can get the Good Rod and add our next member to our team, Whalmer. His name is Rowley. And jokes aside, this probably is the best fitting name you can give to a Whalmer. I mean, just look at this dude. Such a Rowley. On the way to the next gym, we have to run through Mauville City again, and I saw that Watson was out on the street. I went up to talk to him, and he gave us his basement key. He says, don't worry about it. It won't be a challenge to you, and that's it. Then you have my trust. He gives us Thunderbolt for finishing the deed. So this next part of the game is kind of boring. You just have to go up this super long route to the next city. You stop at this weather station along the way to beat up Team Aqua, but Archie isn't there to say something stupid, so who really cares? The scientists give you a cast form, but for that, I don't want it. Into timeout it goes. And yada yada yada, Fortree! Let me tell you a story about Fortree City Gym. It's fucking ass. First of all, it is full of tier 3 subs. You would think this girl is hosting hot tub streams on the side or something, or everyone here just likes to get stepped on, I don't know. But I am inclined to believe that all these people suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, because Winona can be described as nothing less than the devil incarnate. Look at this team.
What? It's just an ordinary crabby. Oh my goodness!
This abomination of an Altaria is level 33. You know what level Swablu evolves at? 35! And you may have missed this if you don't have an optic nerve, but this particular Altaria knows the move Dragon Dance. An insanely good status move that raises speed and attack. This cockatrice beast solo swept my entire team 3 times. This fight damn near required me to go get Ice Beam for Gregory on the opposite side of the region and then walk back just to make this cotton candy bird catch a fucking cold. Our 4th attempt ends victorious though, and with Satan's thirst for blood quenched, we can burn Fortree City to the ground because we never have to come back here. We get to Lily Cove City and pick up the Pokeblock case, which serves no purpose to me other than being an arbitrary prerequisite to get into the Safari Zone, which is where we pick up our last team member, Fragley the Giraffe Rig. Up on Mount Pyre, Archie steals the Red Orb, and I feel like I'm supposed to make a joke here about Red and Blue Blood in Morbius, but I never saw the movie, so I don't actually have enough context to do that. So we're just going to go to Maxie instead. He uses the Blue Orb on the Red Monster, and then Groudon just kind of leaves. Bye. So now we have to go back to fight the blue team, where we get hit with the "I was only wasting your time so the boss could get away" shtick. Which is fine because I'm running out of Morbius jokes. Again, I didn't actually see the movie. So instead of chasing after him, we go to the next gym instead. Inside, Susan evolved into our own Altaria right before we face the leaders Tate and Liza. 3 of their 4 team members are weak to water, and fun fact, Surf actually doesn't hit your teammate in this generation. So you can imagine how that battle went. Outside, Team Magma forms a conga line because they want to steal rocket fuel to blow up Mount Chimney. I don't really see the reasoning here, but we're able to stop them by teaming up with Steven. Now it's time to ping pong back to Team Aqua, and after using Rock Smash and Strength 1,000 fucking times, we find Kyogre. Archie is hot on our tail though, and he comes up to us and yells, "It's Morbin time!" And then uses the Red Orb on the blue monster. And wouldn't you know it, Kyogre doesn't like that either, and also leaves. So now we have to get to Sutopolis. And here we find that Groudon is intentionally handicapping himself by not making a bigger patch of land to fight on, but hey, I guess he doesn't need it. At least this way we get front row seats to the show. But apparently a fight between 2 ancient deities is bad for the world or something, and we have to stop it, even if it looks cool. So we go and find Wallace, who is just standing in a cave with no music. He tells us that there is a super ancient Pokemon called Rayquaza. And then he asks us where he is. As if I'm supposed to know that? I mean, I do, but you just told me this thing even exists, dude. What would incline you to ask me that? But since it's apparently this child's responsibility to save the world, we're the ones who climb up Sky Pillar to wake up Rayquaza, who just kind of screams at us and leaves. Again, us running the family. We fly back to Sutopolis to witness the amazing power of Rayquaza.
Man, shut your bitch ass up!
With the world now saged by a child instead of much more capable adults, we can finally get into the last gym. After solving the very easy puzzle, we can take Quan on. Funny enough, even as the last gym leader, none of his Pokemon can hit Manny directly. Only Lovedisc can confuse him with Sweet Kiss. So it was a pretty simple fight for the last badge. But now, with all 8 badges in hand, we can finish out our journey by surfing to Evergrande City and entering Victory Road. Not far inside, the neighborhood's sick kid stops us for the last time and forces us into a battle, where his Gardevoir, being an empath, can sense that I'm growing extremely frustrated at the fact that it spams Double Team. Why do you need Double Team? After that fight, we get lost in the sauce for a little bit and snap back to reality with everyone on the team at level 54. Yay! We enter the door to the first of the Elite Four members, Sydney. His team is nothing really special. I lead with Rally, who was able to take out his Mightyena in one hit with a full HP Water Spout. Cacturn is up next, who Susan easily handles with Fly. And then Gregory is able to take out his Absol with a couple of Earthquakes, since I'm pretty sure Absol always goes for Swords Dance on the first turn, so it leaves it pretty vulnerable. I leave Greg into Ice Beam Shiftry since it doesn't actually know any Grass-type moves for some reason. Seems like an oversight, Sydney. Maybe you should fix that. Greg gets confused from Swagger though, so Susan has to come in and clean up. His final Pokemon is Crawdaunt, which can't touch Manny. In fact, the only move he'll use against Manny is Swords Dance, so I just use Confuse Ray to turn those attack buffs against him. After 2 Swords Dances, he actually does over half his HP and damage to himself, which is also kind of funny to watch, so he quite literally hands us the win. Next up is Phoebe. Her fight isn't really hard, just more so annoying. Her gimmick is sucking your pee-pee, and by that, I mean reducing the power points of your moves quickly, which really is just an inconvenience for the matches that come after hers. Crunch is the answer to pretty much her whole team, so there's really not much to say for this fight. Glacia is our next opponent. I lead with Roderick again to taunt Celio so it can't set up Hail, which it just used after the next turn. Yeah, taunt only lasts 2 turns in this game apparently, so that stinks. I didn't know that. I switch into Fregly after Roderick gets the Celio into full restore range, and Psychic is able to take it down in 1 hit. I send in Rally to take on the first Glalie so that he can build up rollouts against it. He's able to take out the first Glalie with 3 rollouts, and then a level 4 rollout is able to take out the next Celio in 1 shot, and then a level 5 rollout is able to take out the second Glalie in 1 hit. Nice job, man. Walrein is the final Pokemon on Glacia's team, and he conveniently can't touch Manny, so we send him out and... oh. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking with that one. I don't know if when I was playing I just missed the second Glalie using Hail. But Greg is able to come out anyway and beat the Walrein with a couple of Earthquakes for the victory. Our final Elite Four member is Drake. I lead with Fregly to set up an Agility on his Shelgon since I correctly predicted that he would use Protect on the first turn. 2 Psychics later and we move on to Flygon, who Greg easily handles with an Ice Beam. Next up is... oh, not this time, buddy. I have Ice Beam now. Oh. It isn't enough to take it out, so I switch into Rally, who takes a critical hit Double Edge and survives on 1 HP. Wow. This causes our feral beast of an opponent to knock itself out with Recoil, and ends its chokehold on my life. I send out Manny against the Kingdra, expecting it to switch out since it can't touch him, and it used Dragon Dance instead? But then it switches out the next turn? Okay. I send out Roderick to take the Flamethrower, but it used Dragon Claw instead, which wouldn't have hurt Manny. I don't know what's going on, honestly. But I heal up Gregory and send him out to Ice Beam the Salamence, and then Manny can actually finish off the Kingdra. Now, there's only one battle between us and the end of this challenge. Champion Wallace. He leads with Wailord, so I start out with Manny to try and get some damage on whoever he switches into. But instead he used Water Sport 4 times, despite it not affecting Manny, and then Rain Dance. I am very confused, but Manny is able to take it out, and we swap to Fregly for the Tentacruel, who goes down to Psychic. Next up is Ludicolo. God damn Ludicolo. He spams Double Team with Leech Seed, so he slowly drains your HP, and you can't do anything about it because everything misses. Why is Double Team such a trend on trainers in this game? I don't know. It's not fun. He's able to take out Susan and then uses a full restore, undoing the last 5 minutes of progress I made. I'm in a bit of a bind, but I decide to max revive Susan. Oh, but that's cheating. It's a challenge run. You're not supposed to use revives in battle. And sure, that's a fair point. But at this point, I don't care. If he can use 6 double teams, I'm gonna use 1 revive, alright? I think that's a fair trade-off. After I send Susan back in, I awaken the primal rage within her and hit him with the old Winona. 6 Dragon Dances into Fly, and it lands. After that showstopper, he sends in Milotic. Milotic. I don't know. Susan is able to take a decent chunk of its health, but ultimately falls to its Ice Beam. Rest easy, Susan. Milotic restores health with its berry, which is perfect because it gets it out of full restore range. We send in Greg, but he only has 1 Earthquake left. We use his last Earthquake in hopes that it's enough to take out Wallace's strongest team member. That's basically it. Sure, he has 2 Pokemon left, but for the last time in this run, they can't touch Manny. He's able to finish off Whiscash and closes out the battle with a Hyper Beam on Gyarados. I thought that was funny. I gave him Hyper Beam as a joke, but it came into use in the end, so that's poetic. And with that, the team assigned by fate secures their place in the Hall of Fame. Manny, the Shedinja. Roderick, the Mightyena. Susan, the Altaria. Gregory, the Marshtomp. Fragley, the Girafarig. And Rally, the Whalmer.